Can I ask y'all a question about this offer that Chuck Schumer made yesterday to reopen the government that the Republicans rejected, where he went to the Republicans and was like, okay. If you give us two things, if you give us just a 1-year extension on the ACA subsidies, and you let us form a bipartisan committee to investigate options for affordable health care, we'll concede all of our other demands. And the Republicans were like, nope, we're not going to negotiate on that. We are not open to any negotiation. You will capitulate to everything we want. Donald Trump says that we won't give you anything that you want. He'll accept nothing other than total and complete surrender. Right, that's sort of, okay, I'm getting a little dramatic, but that's sort of how the Republicans replied. They said, we're not negotiating, which is pretty unheard of, right? They have no interest in bipartisanship. The fact that any Democrats are still acting like their Republican colleagues have any interest in legitimate governance, any interest in protecting democracy, like, come on, y'all, read the room. But anyway, I posted about this earlier on YouTube. It's also my backup TikTok. And I was like, okay, I kind of have reassessed my opinion on this move of Chuck Schumer's. And a bunch of people in my comments are kind of parroting what they heard from Heather Cox Richardson and a number of pundits who are like, this is genius. This is making the Republicans look terrible. This is hurting the Republicans so fucking bad. And my question is it? Is it really hurting them that bad? Because public opinion was already that the shutdown is Donald Trump and the Republicans' fault, because it is their fault. But I just keep seeing like, oh, this was a devastating, brilliant move by Chuck Schumer, and it's totally making the Republicans look terrible and unreasonable. And I'm just like, is that something that you want to be true? Or has there been polling? Has anybody polled Republican voters and said, like, oh, has this made you change your mind on Donald Trump and Republicans in Congress? Their rejection of Chuck Schumer's offer, is that the thing for you that has tipped you over to make you decide to no longer support MAGA? Like, is it really that devastating? Or was it a move where, like, people who already blamed the Republicans rightly, people who already knew that the Republicans were unreasonable, just got their position confirmed? Because I see the pundits, first of all, failing to apply Occam's razor to Chuck Schumer's motivations and actions. If y'all have not seen Bernie Sanders' video that he put out on this issue, I encourage you to go watch it. But in a position where the Democrats have tremendous strength coming off this election with just like a tremendous blue wave, and Republicans get their asses handed to them, and they're shitting bricks right now. To have Chuck Schumer immediately come in with like an offer that gives away almost everything that we have been holding out for, to make two very small asks that my congresswoman said actually would benefit Republicans in the end. If Republicans had agreed to Chuck Schumer's plan of a 1-year extension of ACA benefits, that would have been politically advantageous to the Republicans. It would have hurt Democrats in the midterms, and it also would not have been doing right by the American people. So I guess for me, I see pundits saying like, this was brilliant, because I don't think that they're analyzing the actual motivations of Chuck Schumer, which is that wealthy interests are breathing down his neck to get him to reopen the government. He has historically thrown the people under the bus time and time again for corporate and foreign interest. Why would we expect him to do differently this time? And I'm not sure that I believe the argument that this was just such a sick fucking move and it's going to absolutely make everybody turn on the Republicans. I think people who are already angry at the Republicans for shutting down the government and for being literal fucking fascists, they think that it makes Republicans look bad, makes Republicans look unreasonable. But I have not seen any data, any evidence that shows that it has changed the mind of a single Republican. That Chuck Schumer's move yesterday to offer throwing away all of our demands and instead being like, just a 1-year extension on the ACA, when other Democrats were like, it should have been a minimum 2 years. What Chuck Schumer offered was below the minimum expectation that Democrats were willing to accept. And then like a fucking bipartisan committee to explore alternatives to have more affordable healthcare. Yeah, the answer is fucking universal healthcare, Chucky. That's what the people want. That's what the people want. If you talk to them about universal health care without cloaking it in like democratic language, just describing what universal health care is and how we could fund it, overwhelmingly the American people want it. It's just with the loaded language of the Republicans and the taint of being attached to Democrats. Yeah. So I would love a little tiny snippet of evidence, despite all of these like aggressive talking points of like, wow, Chuck, suddenly you're amazing. You've been inept like for a long, long time. And suddenly like, oh, you really came in here with like a fantastic play that's going to just destroy the Republicans' position and make MAGA all flip. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't see any evidence of that. If it does, that would be amazing, right? If this move from Chuck Schumer to make this offer that now puts them in a position where they can't negotiate at all because he led with the lowest possible ask. Now Republicans know how low the Democrats are willing to go. Right now, Republicans are listening to Daddy Donald, who says, don't negotiate at all. No. Just work on destroying that filibuster, but don't negotiate at all. I do think a little bit of why Chuck Schumer acted was fear of the filibuster getting taken apart, but I think mostly it's corporate interest. Anyway, it's entirely my speculation. I don't have any evidence to back that up. Just looking at his actions in the past and who donates to who gives him millions of dollars, and my own prejudice against corporate establishment, democratic leadership. Completely admit that I'm entirely biased. But again, I know the pundits are saying that this was a terrible move for the Republicans and it was brilliant of Chuck Schumer and he just like, he exposed them and is going to make them look horrible and this is going to be something that tanks the Republicans in the polls. Before he made this move, most Americans already blamed Republicans in Congress and Donald Trump for the shutdown. I would love to see any concrete data that this action by Chuck Schumer yesterday and the rejection by the Republicans has persuaded a single Trump voter. Are we talking hypotheticals? Are we talking about what we hope will happen? Or are we talking about the actual impact of his actions? I want some pollster, G. Elliott Morris, I don't care who, I want some pollster to conduct that poll and tell us as to whether or not that was actually an effective move, or whether the establishment Democratic pundits just are trying to frame it as that, because the things that our leadership is doing have to actually be helping defend democracy. And we've seen very, very little of that from Democratic leadership thus far. It's difficult for a lot of us to believe that Democratic leadership are actually allies in the fight against fascism. They seem beholden to their corporate donors, their foreign APAC donors, not so much the people and not so much democracy. Yeah, bring me the numbers and, I'll eat my hat if I'm wrong. I'm always open to changing my mind. I'm always open to being persuaded by the data. So I'd love to see that data.